what's up? Right, same fit as the last vid, bar, we're missing the shades and the Docker cap, but I was in a good mood from the last video that I felt I had to make another one. Do you ever get it when you're in those moods and it's like this inspiration just pours forth out of you and you're like, oh man, I gotta make a video, or oh man, I gotta do, what do you do? So I'm in the mood to do another one twice. This might be the third video this week and all I do is sit down and talk. Anyway, do you think you're good enough? Right? Do you think you're good enough? We're gonna go straight in there, straight in the deep end. There's the hook, but I missed it by like a minute and I don't care. Do you think you're good enough? Because like I'm going to speak from experience and my own experience, right? But I for the longest time I felt as if I wasn't good enough, that there was something inside of me that I needed to escape or crush or beat or smash or whatever. It needed to go, basically. I needed to pick it up and throw it out and goodbye forever. Gone. But I've been thinking, I've been here on my own, a lot of time to myself in this recovery, and an answer I've come to is that no, I'm not broken. No, there's nothing wrong with me. You know, it's all in my head. Sure, I get bad days. Sure, I get good days. Sure, am I where I want to be? No, not quite. What can I do about it? In the past, I've gone down on myself about that. Like, oh shit, I'm not where I want to be. I thought I was going to be here. I thought I was going to be as far as this person, or that expectation from someone long ago is I haven't lived up to it. And it's like, oh, it doesn't matter. Right, just because you haven't lived up to someone else's expectations or a projection from someone else onto you, and you're being like, well, I got to this milestone, I'm not quite there, who cares? Like, as long as you did your best and you tried your hardest, okay, there's some shortcomings. You might have doom scrolled, you might have played some video games, you might have gone for a walk for 5 hours too long. It's like, just don't do it next time. You're okay. You're not, this doesn't go into the box in your mind, this like void box, this black doom-like box where everything you do slightly wrong gets put in there, and you're like, you're waiting, like, I don't know, is it statistically or masochistically, whatever the one where you hate yourself, or you find pleasure in hurting yourself, and you pick out all of the things, or you like get the spotlight in there. And you're looking in this little box, look at this is all the stuff that I've done wrong, which makes me a bad person. Just get rid of that shit, you know? Get rid of it. It's so odd. Now that I've sort of identified this pattern in myself, that I'm like addicted to self-improvement, addicted to becoming better or the best version of myself, that other thing that is like down the road somewhere, why don't I just open the gate and just go through it? Just allow myself, or allow yourself, to be the best version now. You know, like, sure, there are things that didn't go well, that have happened to you, that is not being so successful, whatever that means. But as long as you're alive, as long as you're breathing and you're trying to be a good person and just getting through the days and then try and improve yourself as you go, why is that bad? Why are you like, why have you segregated yourself from yourself? No words. It's insane. Like, there's this like prison that we put ourselves in, and it's kind of finally gone into my brain, into this brain, that you, like, it's a age old adage that goes a little like, you are the jailer, you're the prisoner, and what's the other one? You are the prison cell. Like, you are all three of those, and the door's wide open, mate. You know, you're the jailer. You're looking where you're looking, and you're inside the jail cell, and you're like, damn. I guess I'm corrupted. I guess I'm like the most sinful being ever. I guess I'm. What's the point in trying? What? That's so like death affirming. That's not life affirming, you know. Like, putting yourself under such microscopic hatred and like self-loathing is altogether pointless and self-destructive and actually evil. There's like, if you want to talk about the root of evil is hating yourself on someone else's accord. You know, if you scroll on Instagram or TikTok or whatever you use, and then you compare yourself to someone who's got a Lambo, and you don't even want a Lambo, and you're like, but I haven't got the Lambo, and I haven't got the business, and I haven't traveled the world, and I haven't got the 10. Bruh, they're living their life. They live in their life. You know what I mean? Like, if you want it, what is the next step you can take? If you really want the Lambo or the Ferrari or the fucking Bugatti, here in my garage is my Bugatti. You know, how are you going to get there first? Well, the first step is that, okay, those guys have that thing, disregard it, right, use them as inspiration if you really must, but don't compare yourself to them or their journey. You're who you are. There's no point in changing that. Not not for the sake of a car or a lifestyle, right? Like, it is so funny that, and funny, again, not haha funny. It's just strange to me that nowadays we can just open our phones and see someone with like everything, and we don't see the pain and the wins, the ups, the downs that person's gone through. We just see that they're there and we're not. And it's like, they're good, I'm bad, the end of it. They could be a shit person, who knows? You know, you don't know them personally, and if you did, you probably wouldn't have this like mentality that they're up here. Like, you should compete with yourself, but should not compete in any sort of competition, as in the arena of your life. And I don't mean compete, if you're competing for like a race or a trophy or a title or an accolade or even a car, for crying out loud. Like, yeah, sure, compete for it, but what I'm saying is not comparing yourself in these battles, which are just unfair. Like, I mean, in your own self, compete here. Are you better than you were a day ago? Are you at least 5 steps? You should be further. Well, should be, I'm labeling it. I'm saying, I'm projecting my view. I feel I should be further. Yeah, let's just put it that way. I feel I should be further than I was last year. Do I feel further than I was last year? Yes. Physically, materially, maybe not, but with knowledge and care for myself and this like overcoming of this weird evil goblin, this goblin-esque like prison time that I've like done for myself. And the only way that I can get out of it is by doing more esoteric thinking or just thinking. And paradoxically, that thing which I thought I needed is actually the thing that I didn't need, and it's just kept me in this spiraling loop. Just like, I mean, this video might not do anything for you, fair enough, but I do believe that, or now anyway, that you should absolutely, it should be your #1 goal to stop self-loathing, stop the self-hatred, stop the because I'm not there equals bad. You're just in your own time, you're on your own journey. Now if you're being lazy, if you're doing nothing with your time and you're just watching Netflix, or you're just consuming the news or doom scrolling for a good portion of the day, then okay, right, you could see that as bad, but what can you do about it? All right, I'm going to do 5 minutes less. Cool, that's a good step in the right direction. And then then think, what do I want to do? What is it that here that I want to do? Is it travel? Do I want the Bugatti? Do I want the Lamborghini in my garage? Do you want a villa overlooking Lake Como? Or do you want a family in the countryside? Like, the world is your oyster, and there's no, you don't get these things by self-loathing. You don't get these things by being an absolute like just devil on yourself. You know, no one's won like that. And if anyone has won using that kind of technique, it's bit them in the ass later on the line. Now, am I where I want to be? No, not really. But, you know, now I've identified that. And for me, I've come over this hurdle of like self-hatred. I really feel inside of myself, like, kind of put the key into the lock and just open the door and smell the fresh air. Like, it feels freeing. Yeah, it feels good. And it was all from this like stupid little video that I saw on Instagram. And I mean, you might not get that. It could be a 1 in a billion chance, or it could have just been fate. Like, I could have just been scrolling long enough to find this video that was like the video I mentioned in the other one that I made. But it was literally just saying, you don't need more knowledge. You're drowning in the knowledge. You're like an esoteric library, and you don't need any more books. You don't need any more knowledge for your magnum opus, because you're not even writing a magnum opus to begin with. You don't need to consult the oracle. You don't need to buzz the orb. Yo, orb, what am I going to do next? Yo, wizard, like, I'm stuck. Don't think for yourself, bro. use this. You don't need to call all of that silly knowledge. How can knowing about the other side, how can knowledge of what lies beyond death, or even what is on the moon Titan, right? Like, it doesn't matter. How does it apply to your life? Like, I get that there's a spiritual world, and by all means, spirituality increases your well-being in life, and it increases your way towards becoming a better and more whole person. But it should not become this idol. It should not become something that is greater than other things in your life, especially if it costs you self-worth. If your self-worth or concept is like this, but you're the most spiritual guy in town, it doesn't matter, right? I think the best thing, or in my opinion, like the most honorable or noble thing you can do is, like, even if you've got vices, even if you've got negativity in yourself, overcoming that and saying, that's part of me, I'm not going to give into it, and I'm a whole human, and I love myself. I really do love myself. And I'm not going to waste any more of my time doing useless things. And sure, you're gonna slip right on back into it probably the next day. But if you have that awareness and you've made that agreement, you signed like the whatever. I was gonna do an Elder Scrolls, a niche Elder Scrolls reference, the white gold contract or Concord, whatever. If you get, you're a nerd, but I like that because I like that. But if you sign that piece of paper in your own mind and you say, look, from now on, I'm gonna like myself. I'm gonna stop this self-deprecation. I'm gonna stop hurting myself for the sake of hurting myself, because that is what winners do. No, winners don't hurt themselves, bro. Ooh, I'm sorry I had to say this. Winners don't lash. I've been a bad boy, bang, or I've been a bad girl, and I must like flagellate myself in the eyes of the Lord. Firstly, what Lord are you worshipping, brah? If the God above, the God of gods, is like looking down in glee, and he's like, you've got my favour now, big guy. Now that you've like stripped the skin from your back, bruh, what have I got to tell you? You know, like, that is a strange ass like thing you believe in there. So, and it is, even if you think you're doing good, through that negativity, because ultimately where this comes from is you're deluding yourself, or you're hoping that by learning more, or like hating yourself, that you'll ultimately be able to get yourself out of this like sticky situation. That's kind of how I've felt in my life. It's like I've looked down upon myself because I've not reached the heights of wherever anyone else is, anyone I've been inspired by. And it's like this, it's kind of hard, it is very hard to explain in a very paradoxical way, by feeling that you're hating on yourself, and you can like take yourself, self-awareness, and then see all the negative things you're doing, and then self-flagellate and beat yourself up. And then in that way you feel like you're going to drive yourself up the hill, but that's not how it works. Why would you ever want to climb a mountain if there's someone behind you like whipping? Why would you go into an agreement with that? You know, I mean, if you had to do it, you would, but that's not what this is. The context here is that you've entered an agreement with yourself or something, and now, instead of wanting to climb the mountain to see what's on the other side, you're being hit along, and it ultimately is just bad. It's dangerous, and you can really, from there, you can put yourself into the worst holes. Like for me, again, I would hate on myself so much, and even in these last 4 weeks, I've been brutalizing myself. Like, I'm not doing enough. I shouldn't have got injured. I should have done more by now. I need more. I'm not the person who I should be. My higher self wouldn't allow it. And it's like, whoa, hang on, man. Like, I have been doing my best, and all in here wants, all my heart wants, is for me to look at it and go, bro, you're doing good. You're doing all right. You've made it through the obstacles that you've had. Now, how about we do this together? Can you stop hurting me, please? Like, I'm being real. I'm being as raw and honest as I can feel. Like, that's normally the voice that's deep down in there, and I'm feeling that now. It's like all these years of forcing myself to do things that actually, do I even care about? No wonder you're burning yourself out. No wonder you feel like sitting on the couch and just doing nothing. No wonder Netflix is like gravitating towards you. You want to watch the newest thing. It's because you're literally killing yourself. No one did anything great by killing themselves. I mean, okay, you could compare, or I wouldn't say compare, but you could see people who have been put against the wall. There's difference though from being put against it and you have to do it, you burnt the bridges and you've got to go, or slave driving yourself to the same goal. Like, normally when someone has burnt their bridges, they've done it because they are 100% confident that they will smash this. In fact, they can't have any other, they have to be on their own team, because there's no going back. Your boats are gone, your bridges are gone, you've got to move on. But I don't think doing something aggressive like that is necessarily what you should be doing until you're a higher level. If you're like a level 5 slime and you're bouncing around, you should not be burning your bridges. You should not be burning your lifelines or your friends or your family in order to get that thing which might not even be yours. The first step in becoming whole, what I'm finding, is that you need to put everything down just for the moment, and metaphorically just put it all down, sit with yourself and try and find it within you to be like, right, I'm with you. Here's my hand. You take it? And they'll be like, yeah, bro. Damn, why didn't you ask me this years ago? I've always wanted to be on your team, man. And it's in that union, let's call it a sacred marriage if you want to get esoteric, that then you can take the first steps towards becoming something, and not becoming yourself, because you already are. You found it. You've made that alliance within you. So the idea that that you've got to hurt yourself in order to be better is preposterous. And even when I was younger, when I had, I'll admit, I had a crippling porn addiction. I was addicted to all sorts of crap. And I noticed, luckily I had the self-awareness to see that it was actually me flagellating myself. Oh, you shouldn't have done that. Oh, I feel so sick. That was disgusting. I got all this guilt inside of me because I watched that thing. How could you be so disgusting? And you're talking to yourself like that. And it's like, in the inverse is going to happen then. No one ever, or I didn't break my addictions for being like a bastard, being like this horrible father figure to myself. Actually, it was when I was like a bit more soft. It was when I was like when I realized that, I tried a different approach. I was like, all right, man, that sucked. That was bad. Like that was pretty gross, wasn't it? Really. And I'm talking to myself. It's like, yeah, I'm not talking to myself like out loud, right? This is in my head, just so we're safe. And I'd be like, yeah, that was pretty bad, but why not? Let's like not do this for a few more days. Let's try and do better next time. We're human. We make mistakes. We slipped up, but I'm not gonna